Oh, I just got a lot of things packed. I mean, to beat the shit out of that piece of shit Dark Elf. Sorry. Got 51 high potions. Should have brought some ether for myself, but hey. After I'm done with this, I'll travel up north-ish. Alright, now I'm gonna have to take a look at that map. Yeah, I should go down. Then I'll go up. Yeah. Oh my. We are. Okay, go down. Take a. There's a left, right? I must trust the Dark Elf. Combined power of the crown, you now hold the crystals I already possess. I'll become the true Elf King. It's useless to resist me. I can take what is mine by sheer force. I highly fucking doubt it. Fuck does it mean to haste? Oh, okay. It's a lot more easier than I thought. I just didn't know what the hell to do. Obtain the crystal. Hey, now I can go see that witch. They still plagued by darkness? No. Yep. Alright, time to find my boat. I honestly don't know what to talk about, so I'll talk about one of the series that kind of died off, metaphorically, but still kind of lost itself due to the real death of the actual creator. RWBY, spelt with a W instead of a U. Now, if you know the series, then, well, you probably know enough to say how much, but yeah, you probably don't like it. Or at least you don't like what it's turned into. And if you still like it for what it is, you're a lot more patient than me with the series. Or you're just one of the people who accept the dumbass bullshit they made up. Which, honestly, is something I could not do myself. Because it's kind of horrible, you know? I mean, it lost itself a lot in the story, if I gotta be honest. Cool, 2 potions, but, honestly, I don't want to say I have a problem with the series, although I don't like a few things that they did with it. It's more so rather fuck off, you pathetic goblins. Should I? Down and up, down and up. Fuck it. By the way, back to my point. I just don't like, in general, what the hell the series did. For, part 3 moving onward, because, like, it loses itself from volume 4. I shouldn't have said part 3, I should have said, like, volume 4 onward. It's like, you don't see any of that creative flair, and that's because the original creator died. And as to be expected with many of these properties that the creator dies in before their full, like, thing was written down, because the guy was called Monty Oum. Oum spelled O-U-M. Now, his whole, like, dream was, like, make a series that had the characters that fought the way of who they are. Like, he was inspired by various games, like, this Final Fantasy series. Okay, maybe not started here, but various anime, live-action cartoon show. He was inspired by a lot, and he worked with $7. Like, back in the day, it was big, and there's a reason why RWBY popped off so much. And why even nowadays that it's worse, it's still kind of going on strong. But personally, I hate it. I hate what they've done. I wouldn't want to say it spat in the face what Monty Oum originally did, but nope. Like, what the fuck is that? Yeah, I can see again. Shit. Luch Crown. I love doing fetch quests. I love it whenever a piece of shit fucking sentient jackasses walk right where other people are supposed to move. I fucking love it. Got all this free space and yet you stand right in front of the fucking door. Piece of shit. What was I say? Yeah. Like, that creativity was one of a kind. Hell, he made like a whole cast of characters with like their own weapon shit. Like, you got one called Crescent Rose, which is basically a mixture of scythe and a sniper rifle. Looks highly mechanical. Google it. if you haven't seen it already. Then you get Ember Cecilia. I think that's how you say it. Could be Ember, but hey, I don't know. Which is basically gauntlets that shoot out like shotgun. He had like the main four basically made their weapons before he made the characters. Alongside like making weapons and all this other shit. Turns out he would also make illusions from the characters based off of various folk tales, legends, and all the other things in life. Like, it didn't matter from where or when. But, yeah. It was basically amazing for his kind of talent. Now, I wouldn't say I have the same type of talent, but I have that amount of creativity and focus on integrity that really just makes me able to think of the concepts just as decently. Like, if I'm not saying I'm going to copy his style because everyone has their own tastes, but if I were to try and imitate it, I would try to respect as much as the like original source material there is, or the original way of making that thing. I would respect it. But yeah, no, basically RWBY kind of like explored all these themes and ideas, and then it got a lot more shallow as the series went on because of what I already just said. Because Monty kept all of his ideas to himself, he went under surgery and then died of an allergic reaction, and yeah, kind of fell apart after that. But hey, to shut up about things that a lot of people already know, getting back to the point, I would love to have like a good enough amount of like, I want to say control over the property, because I feel like I can do most of the job better than the people who make the show. I would full on make a fucking reboot from volume 1, because they didn't have seasons, they had volume. That's what they called it. You know what? I wouldn't be mad at it. Well, by that I mean I wouldn't want to I wouldn't want to change too much, but also I would like a lot of difference, if that makes. Well, no, not a lot of difference. It's just like one of the series revolves around dust. Now, here's the thing: the land of RWBY, or at least the entire world of it, is called Remnant. Now, no one knows what the hell Remnant is, or why it's named that. We just know what's in the present. And they never really expanded on this idea, because, like, they didn't know what the hell else to do. Now, what I would do is basically try to make a lot more sense of it. Like, they have this whole entire system called dust. And one of my original ideas that I made up, like a fucking fan theory, is that dust is supposed to, like, dust is like the world's mana. And I know it sounds stupid, but mana is like always depicted as a natural flowing thing throughout, well, basically almost every fantasy landscape there is. Like, you get mana flowing through like nature and shit, like water. So what if you took mana and trying to find the king? Is that literally it? Do I have to talk to like? Okay. Somebody. Oh, there he is. Oh, I thought whenever I looked at the head, I thought that was a pillow or something. I thought that was decoration for the bed. Okay, what was I saying? Yeah. Like how mana is always depicted as like an ever-flowing thing in other fantasy series. What I would do for Ruby is to change that to you gotta miss the key. Fucking finally! I'm gonna go and get my shit I'm rightfully deserve to have. These ancient dumbass fucking wizards misplaced the thing that their family gave. But yeah, no, back to the point. If mana was so abundant that in the history that Remnant doesn't even know, or at least completely remember, that all the wizards that used to live in Remnant died off, this big old catastrophe, and the mana became so abundant it started to kind of like have a corrosive effect on the environment. But instead of rotting anything, it gives it more life, so to speak. And then becomes like ashes that live and breathe, or no, I shouldn't say that. I should probably say something else, but what am I doing? I have items. Alright, time for me to sell some shit. The corrosive effect would, like, have the mana. I don't know, since it's so abundant, it would have to. God damn. That much, huh? It would have to leak into other parts of the world, like literal sand or just basic rock and dirt. Because the canonical explanation for dust is that it's basically fossil fuels of wizards. Like all the wizards that used to be in Remnant, before Remnant was Remnant, they all died off because they were slaughtered by the gods, the brother gods, light and darkness. Don't fucking ask me. I'm just grabbing at straws of what I deem to be relevant for the topic because I'm not going to go through anything past volume 3. And yes, that is petty and very biased, but shit just got way off topic of where the fuck it was supposed to start from, so I'm just going to do and talk about whatever I feel like. Because it's my video. But hey, back to my thing. So I'm gonna get rid of that whole entire bullshit about gods and mythology and any of that bullshit. Sure, there can be hints and even like full-on other religions in there, but just plainly having two literal gods who, spoiler alert, those gods in the series walks away because they were ashamed of their creation because they didn't like humanity. Fuck them. Fuck that entire plot line that I'm never gonna ever read. But back to my thing. Dust in the remake would basically be like if mana was never used as much. You know, you get too much of a buildup, it starts breaking down a thing. Except in this case, it wouldn't be in a bad way. But, like, the dust has built up for centuries, millennia, whatever the longest word is, for, like, so long for humanity to like, rebuild itself from nothing. That there was so much of it in the world. Basically, shit, I was supposed to go back to the thing for like the, Mr. Key. That's what I was going to do, but then I got lost in my own topic. That tends to happen. Hey, I get to kill more things and get more stronger. But whatever. But basically, that's my whole entire idea. Like, have dust be particles of, like, remnant taken into a literal physical form. Or remnant had, like, mana. No. Where dust was mana. Mana is physical energy, but it has been, I don't know, used with for so long because all the original wizards and sorcerers died. It built up into a lot of locations, and that basically started how dust was created. So it's echoes of dust. And that would be the first actual good reason on why Remnant is called Remnant. Because, like, it's the echoes of the past. It is literal history of something that came before. We just don't know what. Okay, but with that explanation off to the side, another thing that was also very poorly developed, I guess, was the maiden system. Now, you may be asking, what the hell are the maidens? Well, basically, the maiden system was something late introduced to Volume 3 and was restricted to only young women can use it. Not a young man, though, and they didn't explain why. They were like, oh, because it's magic. Magic is mysterious, but no, that's not how it's supposed to work. I mean, sure, you can have it vague, but you gotta give some answer. Saber. Mithril knife, alright? Harder. Mithril knife. And I'm giving that shit to myself. Optimal? Whatever. Iron armor. Hint. Nitro powder. Oh, I need that. I actually need that. Alright, let's go. Let's go all the way back to the caves. Meet the gnomes. Meet the Irish gnomes. Are they Irish? Or are they Norwegian? I can't tell. And I'm not going to bother trying to find anything that confirms that. But basically, yeah. Let's not talk a lot of shit. But yeah, the maiden system. I should probably get back on that. They're the only real ones who can use magic. But they have been so poorly explained and not developed enough that they shouldn't be like, they're just used as excuses and plot points. Seriously, every character that had like something somewhat special about them, they're just used as a plot point. Now, the first kingdom you meet, well, technically, you go into Vale. There's Vale, which is more like a standard, I guess, like a standard Western American modernized fairy tale land. Like, it's something you expect of a high-tech kingdom that goes off of, like, I don't know, a mythical source of power and energy, because they don't have gasoline or electricity. They just have that substance I talked about earlier. They have dust to power everything in their world. But hey, but back to the maidens. The maidens basically don't need dust since they can use raw magic itself. And I should probably not say raw like that, but can't edit the videos yet because I don't know how and I don't feel like it. Drop off here. Find that cave. Piss off, all of you. But the main system is basically what I just said before, and they never elaborate beyond any of that. And that actually sucks. That's actually horrible. They didn't ever expand upon whatever the hell the maiden system was going to work. The maiden system. They're specifically called maidens, not maids. That's my bad. They don't give us lore. They just say, hey, it's a thing that exists, and we're not going to elaborate further, and also we're going to make up terrible rules. It's like, I don't care who you are or what you do. Probably important. But whatever. Look at the map. Yeah, where's the map button? Okay, it's Q. Location, Castle, one castle, Western. Should I go to Western Keep or Mount Duke? I'll go to the mountain first and see what the hell happened. I'm on the completely wrong son of a bitch. Whatever. By the way, my changes for the main system, if I could ever do that, but I might as well just say it now because, like, these are things that even if I forget, I will always, like, say this. From heaven and heart, mind and soul, the main system. In the history of Remnant, there was this thing called the Great War. I would describe it as combining World War I and World War II, words are difficult for me. I'm so sorry. But, well, I'm so sorry for being inconvenient, but hey, you're still watching the video. But basically, the way I would change it is how, like, in the Great War, things were probably what World War II actually was. Because, like, even though it's a fantasy type land, there are still real consequences that can happen. Now, who the hell do I talk about? Powder thing. It's you. No, it's that adamantine bullshit. Get out of my way. I guess it's that gnome all the way down here. And if that world is supposed to be realistic, even though it's a fantasy setting, I would only have to assume that their events are unfortunately probably a lot like ours. Worm killer? The fuck is that? I'm doing that shit to myself. If that's a fuck yes. Then Great Helm, Potion, Aether, Ethereal Maul, and money. Alright, I think I talked to you about that nitro powder, so, burns. Well, if it burns, then don't touch the powder itself, you fucking dumbass. Seriously. I mean, I shouldn't have to call you a dipshit, but whenever you act like a... By the way, what the hell is this? Is this what coins are made of? That stuff? Oh, shit. I thought it would do a lot more damage, but hey, I can fit my boat through there, so I'm not arguing or complaining. But yeah, no, main system would emerge from there. From their Great War. And from the Great War, you know that there were like probably young boys who were happy to serve their country, but if they had any ouncing of magic, it would be used as a weapon. So they gave it to like young girls who were ignored. Young girls who had their talents ignored. But they became young maidens. No shit, they're already. My point is, and then from that on, they assumed from that tradition, it was just like purely that only young girls could have it. Like, I would want to change that for nothing less than, I don't know, it being a lot more creative. I mean, no, they do and say a lot of shit that they don't follow up on because they didn't know what the hell to do with it. And I would say that that's no excuse because, like, there is no greater reasoning for it. It's just overall pathetic, in my opinion. But hey, it's just me ranting about some bullshit. Whatever. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Later, and let me know what other type of opinions you would love to hear, or not like to hear.